Families of Israeli hostages held by Hamas staged a protest in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square today and called for a ceasefire and the immediate return of their loved ones. These protests come after Palestinian terror groups Hamas and the Islamic Jihad released videos of two hostages being held in poor conditions. The protesters have urged the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to finalize a deal and ensure the unconditional release of all hostages. Let's listen into what some of the families of the hostages had to say.
666 ימים ש50 חטופים וחטופה עדיין בעזה. ביומיים האחרונים צפינו בסרטונים הקשים של רום ואביתר, היקירים שלנו שנמצאים בשבי. הילדים שלנו עוברים שואה. לעולם לא עוד קורה ממש עכשיו למתן שלי ולשאר החטופים. הם לא ישרדו עוד הרבה זמן. הם יכלו כבר כולם להיות בבית. אם ההסכם הקודם לא היה מתפוצץ בגלל פוליטיקה.
אני מתחנן בפניכם, אנשים שנוסקים בנידון, בנושא הזה, אל תהיו אפאתיים. זה חיים, זה לא קמפיין, זה לא סיסמה. זה גורל של החטופים, זה גורל של בני אדם שחיים. הם לא עשו שום דבר. הם לא עשו שום דבר רע לאף בן אדם.
כמה סרטונים עוד נצטרך להסתכל, לראות, להרגיש, לבכות, מבלי יכולת יותר להקל את הסבל הבלתי נגמר הזה. עוד מעט אנחנו כשנתיים בתוך סבל שלא יתואר. 666 ימים של טראומה. לא זאת בלבד שהילדים שלנו נחטפו, חטפתם גם אותם.
Now we're joined by Ahmed Fatou. He's a spokesperson for the Fatah movement, joined us live from Ramallah. Thank you, Ahmed, for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, with families of Israeli hostages protesting for a ceasefire and their loved ones released, how do you think such demonstrations are now influencing the political climate within Israel?
Thank you for having me. Of course, we all want the war to end. We all want this catastrophe to stop. We are seeing daily hundreds and thousands of people dying in Gaza. And we all want the swap of hostages and Palestinian prisoners all to be released. The one who's stopping the peace efforts and continuing the war are the Israeli political system. The far-right Israeli government that does not want to stop this war. They want to push for a colonial agenda, as they have said it and expressed it in many occasions, to exterminate and to forcefully immigrate the Palestinian people from Gaza and to annex the West Bank. So they see from this war that was started in October 7 as a gift for the Israeli far right to push forward into their Zionist dreams of fully occupying Palestine. Yesterday, President Trump, according to the Independent, said that it is Netanyahu who don't want to stop the war for his personal interest. Until now, the pressure has not built up enough to stop Netanyahu. The Israeli community is, unfortunately, the majority of it still far-right sympathizer and still against the Palestinian people. And what we are seeing from the TV, from the community leaders, that they are saying very racist and very extremist rhetoric. There's very few who are speaking about the two-state solution and peace. Now, we also have to address that Israel refused the New York two-state solution conference, which actually states and put forward a plan for a peaceful resolution, because we have to face the inevitable that this is an issue between an occupation and the occupied, and we need a permanent solution. So that pressure needs to build up, but most importantly, United States need to step its foot forward, because until now they have been impartial, they have been biased, they have been complicit in this genocide. They are providing the bombs, the political cover. And I have to point out what Witkoff said yesterday, that there is no famine in Gaza. That is, of course, completely absurd, when the entire international community, when in UN, all its agencies, when humanitarian organization, including Israeli humanitarian organization like B'Tselem, says it's a genocide, there's a starvation, and just today 7 died from hunger, and he denying it, that reiterate what we have been saying for years, that America is not an impartial and neutral mediator. They are complicit, and the world need to find another mediator who could actually stop this war, not prolong it.
And Ahmed, now given the ongoing conflict and the involvement of Palestinian groups like Hamas, also Islamic Jihad, what are the prospects for a ceasefire agreement? Is it still possible?
Of course, it's possible. I have to remind you that it is Israel that withdrew from the ceasefire deal in February and did not go for phase 2. Also, I have to remind you that it is Netanyahu who refused all proposals from the international community or even the Arabic plan for ceasefire and reconstruction, when they said the PLO, which is the Palestinian government and the legitimate representative of the Palestinian people, to go back to Gaza, and Hamas, we have all said clearly, Hamas need to withdraw from power and to give their weapons to the legitimate government and to go for a 2-state solution where we have an election for a Palestinian government that has no militants on ground. One authority, one political system, one law, one arm, which is with the legitimate Palestinian security forces. Israel does not want that to take place, because Israel plan is not a ceasefire or peace. Israel plan is to exterminate the Palestinian state. They don't want any opportunity or any chance to have a political process that could lead to a Palestinian state, independent state, according to the 2-state solution and according to the international resolutions. So what they are doing is keep feeding this war. And the entire world has already said, as I told you, in the New York conference, and Hamas has signaled that they want to step down from power, and they want to swap all hostages for prisoners. So all the solutions are under our hands, but it's Israel that refused to pick them, because they want a solution that is tailored to the occupation, that's tailored to the apartheid, to make a colonial state an apartheid system, which is internationally refused, and the Palestinians will, of course, will not accept to be